legitimate debate about policy following Reagan's 11th Commandment in his honor. And the answer is that is what actually makes our country strong. And I believe in these people. These are good people on the stage. They disagree.
Ain't nothing changed, nothing new here to see. This ain't nothing but some political maneuvering.
America.
Welcome to the eulogy, eat it up. It's called political buffoonery.
Hey there, everybody, and welcome to This Week in DUMBmocracy, where we showcase some of the dumbest newsmakers of the week. I don't know where to begin with this video, folks. What are we doing here? This had to be the single most cringiest debate I've seen in a very long time. From the candidates, to the moderators, to the network. There wasn't one redeeming thing about this debate. Everyone is dumber for watching this debate, and I'll explain why in this video, which I hope that you'll like, share, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. And of course, at the end, I want to hear what you guys think. So without further ado, let's get to the cringe. First, the candidates. This debate may have had substance in it, but the average voter couldn't find it. I guarantee you that. Now, I'm a wonk. I watched the whole thing, and believe me, it wasn't fun. I know that the average voter isn't going to be looking for the same things that I'm looking for, and I'll find a nugget of substance here and there, but what the voters, I think, see, what the average voter sees, is a bunch of canned lines, no authenticity whatsoever, and the absolute cringiest one-liners. Let's just say, nobody here is going to be a stand-up comedian, so they shouldn't even try. And I'm looking right at you, Mike Pence, and I'm looking at you, Chris Christie. My goodness. Just take a look. I'm so incensed. Take a look.
Look, I do disagree with something Tim Scott just said. Joe Biden doesn't belong on a picket line. He belongs on the unemployment line.
And when you have the President of the United States sleeping with a member of the teachers union, there is no chance that you could take the stranglehold away from the teachers union every day.
But I want to answer the question as well, Dana, that you just asked Doug Burgum. Because by way of full disclosure, Chris, you mentioned the president's situation. My wife isn't a member of the teachers union, but I got to admit I've been sleeping with a teacher for 38 years.
And what you've got, I honestly, every time I hear you, I feel a little bit dumber for what you say, because I can't believe they hear.
I want to look in that camera right now and tell you, Donald, I know you're watching. You can't help yourself. I know you're watching, okay? And you're not here tonight, not because of polls and not because of your indictments. You're not here tonight because you're afraid of being on the stage and defending your record. You're ducking these things. And let me tell you what's going to happen. You keep doing that, no one up here is going to call you Donald Trump anymore. We're going to call you Donald Duck.
Ew, this is so cringe. Guilty.
It's enough to make you want to scream. I mean, really? You want to be my president. This is what you're coming at me with. Now, yes, it worked for Donald Trump in 2016, but I think that shtick is over with. I don't think that anybody else is going to pick up the mantle of the insult comic the way that Donald Trump has. That's now his brand of politics. He patented it. He does it better than probably anybody else out there. You're not going to out-Trump Trump. And the more that you try to do it, the more cringy you become. It was content like this, and content like the interrupting that you saw in the beginning of the video, the talking over each other, the cross-chatter, that nobody could understand. In the first half hour of this debate, no one cared about the voter, because they were all talking over each other. There wasn't any presentation from them, and you didn't hook them. They didn't stay. I gotta think when the ratings come out on this debate, they went downhill after that first half hour, because it was all crosstalk, and it was all going at each other. It just didn't work. They did nothing to distinguish themselves. They did absolutely nothing to gain voters, either from each other or from the frontrunner Donald Trump. I just don't see anybody looking at this debate and saying, oh yeah, I'm going to vote for that guy because of what he said during this debate. It's not happening. This was not a needle mover. And while we're at it, let's talk about Fox News' horrendous job of putting on this debate. Like what you see so far? Go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Also, leave us a comment and tell us what you're thinking. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another show. Now, let's get to the moderators of this debate. I have nothing personally against any of them. I think that they're fine journalists, if you want to call them that, commentators, pundits, whatever they are, right? That's all well and good. I thought the questioning was a bit uneven. It felt like everybody was asking Ron DeSantis a question. It felt like everybody was asking Nikki Haley a question. And very few people were asking Doug Burgum a question or Tim Scott a question. It felt very unequal. But let's put all that questioning aside for a moment. This is one thing that I commented on social media, on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it these days. I don't even know anymore. But there was a question that was asked of Vivek Ramaswamy concerning influencers getting him to get onto TikTok. Check out the question.
Mr. Ramaswamy, TikTok is banned on government-issued devices because of its ties to the Chinese government. Yet you joined TikTok after dinner with boxer and influencer Jake Paul. Should the commander-in-chief be so easily persuaded?
Okay, that sounds like an okay question. And of course, the Republicans on the stage, with the exception of Ramaswamy, went off about TikTok.
What they're doing is these 150 million people are on TikTok. That means they can get your contacts, they can get your financial information, they can get your emails, they can get text messages, they can get all of these things.
This is very important for our party.
Exactly what they're doing.
This is very important.
And then Fox News had nothing but TikTok ads in their breaks during the debate. Are you kidding me right now? I'm all about asking about whether or not TikTok should be allowed in the United States, whether or not it's spyware for the CCP, all of that. Let's have that discussion. But what I'm not okay with is you asking that question, causing all this fervor about it, and you're playing ads from TikTok in the breaks for your debate where you're questioning the use of TikTok. Come on. I mean, does it get any more corporatist media than that? That's just a horrible, horrible look, and many people on social media picked up on that. But Fox News' biggest cringe moment came at the end of the debate. And you'd be forgiven for not waiting until the end of the debate to see this moment, which is why I clipped it for you, because, let's face it, I watched it so you wouldn't have to. But check out this question from Dana Perino. Again, someone that deserves some respect. She's had jobs in the White House, and she's been very professional on air. But my God, this question was the cringiest of them all.
Candidates, it's now obvious that if you all stay in the race, former President Donald Trump wins the nomination. None of you have indicated that you're dropping out. So, which one of you on stage tonight should be voted off the island?
You're a fucking idiot. This needs to stop now.
Please use your marker to write your choice on the notepad in front of you. 15 seconds, starting now. Of the people on the stage, who should be? I'm absolutely serious.
With all due respect, I mean, we're here, like, we're happy to debate, but I think that that's disrespectful to my fellow competitors.
Nobody wants to participate.
Let's do some questions. Let's talk about the future of the country.
And good for the candidates for not going along with that nonsense, that buffoonery. Are you kidding me? We're going to bring out Jeff Probst and have everybody have a tiki torch? Oh, no, we can't do that because Charlottesville. But seriously, this is what we're going to do? We're going to turn this into a game show, into a reality show? This is the presidency of the United States, the highest office in the world. And we're reducing it down to a trope from a reality TV show. That's completely ridiculous. That's completely buffoonish. I'm so glad that Ron DeSantis stepped up and said, we're not going to do this. And then everybody followed suit. Although Chris Christie was seen writing something in that clip and he was called out on it. And then he brought it back to Donald Trump, of course, because, it's all about hating Donald Trump. Enough is enough with these also-rans. It's time to get to business. It's time to get down to who's going to actually win this nomination. There are so many also-rans on this stage. Let's start with Burgum and Scott. I don't know what they're doing there at this point. You got the Trump haters in Pence and Christie that are hanging out there just out of the sheer hatred for Donald Trump. And then you got three candidates in Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, and Vivek Ramaswamy who are actually in this to win this. Whether or not they can is anybody's guess, and we have a long way to go before primary season really ramps up. The numbers right now don't look good for them, but at the same time, voting numbers now don't really mean anything because nobody's voted yet. The polling doesn't mean anything at this point. So it could be that you end up with Ron DeSantis or Vivek Ramaswamy or Nikki Haley or anybody else who catches fire. But you got to catch Donald Trump, and by doing these debates, this amateur hour not ready for primetime debates, it's not helping anybody's cause because they're just sniping at each other, picking at the scraps at the table owned by Donald Trump. It's complete buffoonery. The RNC should be ashamed of themselves with what they're doing with these debates. And if 2016 was any indication, the way that you had monthly debates running up into the election year, by December, we're going to have such election fatigue with all of these mini-me candidates, all these also-rans, all these not ready for primetime candidates, that Trump is going to win just from atrophy and from attrition. And that's not the way presidential primaries should be run. So that's going to do it for me, guys. Listen, I've been going through these clips for a few hours after the debate as they've been coming out. It's been completely infuriating. This is my hot take on this debate. Let me know what you think in the comments, and please be sure to like, share the show with your friends, all that good stuff. Subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. I want to know what you think about this. Let's have a conversation about the seriousness or lack thereof of this presidential debate, because this is just another example of all the tomfoolery, shenanigans, and buffoonery that happens every day this week in DUMBmocracy.
All views and opinions expressed here are not necessarily of the mainstream media and may offend some listeners. It's called political buffoonery.